China's foreign ministry on Thursday vehemently rejected allegations by U.S. President Donald Trump and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, blaming Beijing for the global coronavirus pandemic.
What China opposes is, since you just mentioned the word oppose, is the US and other countries trying to politicize the origin of the coronavirus and trying to hastily conduct an international inquiry under the presumption of a crime.
Beijing's response comes after Trump this week likened the impact of the coronavirus to infamous surprise attacks against the United States.
This is worse than Pearl Harbor. This is worse than the World Trade Center. There's never been an attack like this. Could have been stopped in China. It should have been stopped right at the source.
If you liken the coronavirus epidemic to Pearl Harbor or the 9/11 attack, then the enemy the US faces this time is the coronavirus, because that is the common enemy of all humanity.
But if Beijing doesn't like getting blamed by Washington, it may nevertheless get ready to hear a lot of it. Trump campaign aides say his re-election pitch will focus on the messages that China is to blame and that the president is the only candidate who can rebuild the U.S. economy and hold Beijing accountable. A Trump campaign spokesman told Reuters, quote, "Voters know China was a bad actor on the virus. The president made clear to pinpoint China as the origin of the virus. We're going to push this."
China is a very sophisticated country, and they could have contained it. They were either unable to or they chose not to.
The re-election efforts will also attempt to paint the presumptive Democratic candidate, Joe Biden, as not tough enough on China.
China would like to see sleepy Joe Biden. They would take this country for a ride like you've never seen before.
Trump officials say the message pushed to Republican state party leaders across the country and in new anti-Biden ads reflects polling data that show voters trust Trump more on the economy and that Americans across party lines distrust China.
You know, Donald Trump downplayed the seriousness of this crisis for weeks.
A spokesperson for the Biden campaign described Trump's response to the coronavirus as, quote, a disaster, and accused Trump of being, quote, duped by China earlier this year.
I think China is going to really be terrific.
They're working really hard, and
I spoke with President Xi.
And he will solve the problem.
He is very capable. The country is very capable.
Trump heaped praise on Chinese President Xi Jinping's handling of the outbreak during January and February. The death